Hey guys, Dave Menz, Laundromat Millionaire here in Cincinnati, Ohio. Today is Saturday, October 24th, 2020, and I'm up here at my local shopping mall right now, Eastgate Mall here on the east side of Cincinnati. And I just got finished inside doing a little bit of shopping. I'm out in the parking lot now waiting for my wife and son to come on out. And as I was walking through the mall today, I saw something that frankly kind of upset me as a as an entrepreneur. Um, and so I thought this might be a good lesson, might be a good video for everyone out there, whether you're in the laundromat business or not. And what I saw is, as I'm walking through my mall, everybody knows that we're in the middle of the COVID pandemic right now, right here in Cincinnati. We have some pretty, I guess, mild restrictions compared to some parts of the country. But we have restrictions and mask requirements. Whenever you're indoors, limit on how many parties or how many people you can have at a party, things of that nature. I think restaurants are at like 50-75% capacity. And so obviously the shopping mall has some different restrictions as well. But as a passionate entrepreneur, what I saw really kind of ticked me off today. What I saw is, as I'm walking through the main aisles of the shopping mall, they have they have like I think they call it like a soft play kids area, which is free, to customers that are shopping for the little kids to play in. And it's the little soft play creatures, dinosaurs and boats and different things that they jump on and jump across, and the kids run and play. And everybody knows that it's kind of a germ, it's like a playland at McDonald's, if you will. It's a germ factory, for lack of a better term. And so that's closed, and it's been closed since March. And that didn't really shock me. There was probably not a way to really keep that clean or sanitary. And so it's closed, and it has been closed, and I don't come to the shopping mall that often, so this is the first time I've noticed it. That by itself didn't really upset me. What really upset me is that literally 3 feet away, right next to this free kids play area, for customers in the shopping mall, is something very, very similar. It's the small little kids rides, for lack of a better term, where you pay 50 cents or $1 and the kid rides around on the little things. And there's probably 9 or 10 of them in a fairly short radius. And there was no signs, no restrictions. There was 3 or 4 kids riding 3 or 4 different rides next to each other from multiple families as I stood there and watched. And there's no one standing there cleaning it before and after, as the restrictions require any other business to do. So why did that tick me off so bad? The reason it ticks me off is because I see this all the time in business. Yes, it's common in the laundromat industry, but I also see it in other industries as well. And as someone who is just a passionate entrepreneur and capitalist, it's crap like that gives people like us, business owners that are just trying to serve our community and make a living and better, add to the economy and create jobs, so on and so forth. It's crap like that gives us bad names and bad reputations. And the reason why is they're literally identical things next to each other. One of them is free to the public. One of them is something that's driving and generating revenue for them all. And so one of them is open and one of them is not. That's not okay, folks. That's not okay. And what it really made me thought of, and I know I'm going to get some flack for this, and I'm okay with that. What it really reminded me of is back when the pandemic was at its heightened, and across the industry, there became this, I don't know what you want to call it, for lack of a better term. I honestly can't even think of what to call it, but commonplace. Across the laundromat industry, I bet 70-80% of the industry shut down their folding tables and all their seating. And I'm sure some of you out there that are watching this still are operating your laundromats that way. And what they're doing is they're basically saying to the public that, yeah, we're in a pandemic. Yeah, it's difficult to keep a clean, sanitary environment. But so we're going to leave open the things that directly generate revenue for us. But the things that are a convenience to the customer, but also part of the process of doing business with us, the things that don't directly but indirectly generate revenue, but really what they do is give the customer convenience and comfort during their experience, we're going to eliminate those things. And so there was many laundromat across the country. Some, very good people. I'm not saying you're bad people if you did that, but that's something that we really resisted, even though the majority of the industry went in that direction of closing down their folding tables. And what the whole popular concept was a word I was looking for a minute ago. What the popular concept was wash, dry, go. Like, we're just really clever in the laundromat industry. Look how awesome we are during a pandemic. We're staying open. We're an essential service. Wash, dry, go. We're so clever. And basically what that tells the public, what that tells the community, what that tells your customers is that you're only focused on revenue. Because you didn't shut your washers down. You didn't shut your dryers down. I bet you didn't even shut your vending machines down. Or maybe even your coin pushers or your video games. But you shut down everything that doesn't directly generate revenue. And that, folks, that just reeks of selfishness. It reeks of being focused on nothing but the money. In that environment, what it screams to the customer in your community is that you're really not interested in them. You're really only interested in yourself. Your business is there to serve you and nothing else. Now, there's nothing wrong with your business serving you as the business owner. It is your asset. There's nothing wrong with it serving you. But if that's all it's doing is making you money, and it's not also serving the community and bettering the community, and you're not focused on the overall experience of the customer, then you're in business for the wrong reason, in my opinion. These are just my opinions. But the reality is, what I saw in there today, it really upsets me. Now, my kids aren't old enough to ride those things anymore either way, and it wouldn't cause me to do business or not do business there. But what it really took me back to is a really neat experience that I've had during this COVID environment. I have one of my stores that's my newest store, and it's located in an area that's near my other 3 stores. And so you could argue that they all compete with each other in some way. My other 3 stores were newer, more established, already had the Queen City Laundry brand associated with them. We had built a reputation, and we acquired one of our customers just a few miles away in another local community. And that business does well. Don't get me wrong, it does pretty well, but it's never really reached its full potential in 4.5 years of, this is retail self-serve laundromat customers. It's never really reached its full potential. And the reason why is, when we ran our pro forma, we anticipated pulling customers from some communities on the other side of this laundromat where we don't have laundromats right now. And there are a few laundromats over there that are reasonable competitors. They're nothing special, but they're not awful either. And so we've had trouble pulling customers from those areas, even though our store is definitely nicer than those. But I guess the customers in those communities were happy with the service they're getting, or they aren't aware that we exist in this new location. But what's been very interesting is, as I said a minute ago, we resisted the urge to do what a lot of laundromat owners have done during COVID, and that's close down your folding, put your seating in the back room, things like that. We did do those things for a few weeks, and it didn't sit well with me, and I actually pulled everything back out. That was just the seating. We never eliminated our folding tables, and we never asked anyone to leave after drying. We always allowed them to wash, dry, fold, and then leave. There was a time where we did remove our seating temporarily for a few weeks, and asked the customers to sit in their cars. And that also didn't really sit well with me. Not because I wanted people sitting in the store for an hour or 2 at a time during a pandemic, but mainly because customers would come in, check their washer, check their dryer, see it had 5 minutes left, and have to go back out and sit in their car again, where they couldn't just sit down on a seat for 5 minutes until it finished and then go on with their laundry duties. And so that never sat well with me. But the reality is, the moral to the story really is, even despite COVID still existing and not being over with, us still having restrictions to this day, our store that isn't near our other stores is now setting records almost week over week. Even in the middle of the pandemic, when it's still going on, it's not over, we're not through this. And the reason why is, all of our competitors on that side of town that we had for 3 or 4 years tried to pull customers from those communities and had very, very limited success. They're just coming in droves from those communities. And you know why? The reason why is because the competitors over in those areas, some of them nice laundromats, some of them middle of the road, mid-tier, functional laundromats, not dirty, not nasty, not old, just not brand new, and probably don't quite have the operations we do. We started having customers come because they were going to these laundromats that they had been using for, in some cases, 15, 20 years. They were going in there and being treated like a third and fourth class citizen. They were being told, you can come in and use your money for anything in the store that generates revenue for me, but anything that doesn't generate for revenue for me, you can't use. You can't use seating. But can you imagine this, folks, in a business? You remove the seating that's free to the customers, but you leave your massage chair in there. Think about that for a second. It's not okay to sit in that chair, but it's okay to sit in this chair because this chair generates revenue for me. And so I really just saw this as a learning opportunity. I know I'm going to get blasted for this email or for this this YouTube video, and I'm okay with that. I've said before, this YouTube channel is about my opinion in business, my experience, and I only do this to really just give and serve the community, the laundromat industry. And that's really what I'm trying to do with this. So I'm not really looking to debate and argue and fight. I'm not attacking other fellow laundromat owners. I'm not calling you bad people. I understand that most of you made the decisions you made because you thought it was in the best interest of your customers. But what I'm telling you is, despite COVID or not COVID, when I see so many times with laundromats, when they're developed and designed and built and even retrofitted in a lot of cases, the distributors, the manufacturers, and the owners are hyper-focused on all the things that directly generate revenue, but they lose sight of the things that are indirect. And the reality is that's very, very short-sighted. So if you get anything from this video, when you're designing, running a laundromat, whether you're in the middle of a pandemic or not, folks, you have to focus on the overall experience, and you have to take psychology and the customer's mentality and their comfort and their convenience into account. Those things like folding tables, seating, things that don't directly generate revenue, you're a fool if you think they don't generate revenue. People may put, they may not put washer or money in a folding table to use it. It may be free, but I've been told over and over again, we have very large custom community folding tables, 24 foot long by 4 foot wide folding tables in our stores. And we built 2 of those out of necessity at one point. And we had customers rave about the convenience and how nice it was to be able to spread out. This is way before COVID. Be able to spread out and have, when it's especially during non-peak times, and have plenty of room to fold and stack their laundry and organize it how they want and things like that. So you can't tell me for a second that comfortable seating versus functional seating or no seating. You can't tell me that functional folding tables that are 3 foot wide and 18 inches deep are the same experience for a customer as a large 24 foot wide, very, very high-end functional folding table with nice 24 foot deep, and not have to worry about knocking your dirty laundry off the back, or I got to fold a couple stacks and then I have to put everything in my car because I only get 3 foot of folding space on this table. So I'm not saying that those things and those luxuries in the laundromat industry, they're not always possible in every store. And so I understand if you don't have the room for these things, but really what I wanted to do is take this opportunity to just show you how a very short-sighted and frankly rather greedy decision by my local shopping mall, which is already dying to begin with, which is probably why they're being greedy and desperate. I'm a customer. And I'm not saying I will or won't go to the shopping mall again because of that, but I don't have little kids. But the reality is that a lot of people are making decisions, and they're making decisions based on whether you, the owners, see a tremendous benefit and value to focusing on the overall experience for your customers and your community, doing what's best for everyone, not just you. And you can make decisions as a business owner that are in your best interest, but take into account how they affect your customers and your local community before you do those things. Your business shouldn't just be there to serve you, as I said in the beginning. Your business should be there to serve everyone in totality. Business relationships, whether it's business to business or business to consumer, they should be about win-win. It should be about providing a tremendous value to your community, to your customers, and being in a situation where they're happily willing to pay for that value that you're bringing to the table. But if it's a win-lose proposition, then guess what's going to happen? As soon as you have a competitor like myself who is looking for a win-win relationship, And as soon as they see the selfishness and the greed of those other local laundromats shutting down their folding tables, shutting down their seating, and saying everything in here that doesn't directly drive revenue, you can't use. But everything, and that we're talking for 6-7 months now, and this may go on for another 6 or 7 months. Nobody knows. So this isn't like a 1 week decision while you're remodeling either. This is an overall problem, and this is the reason that capitalism and business ownership and entrepreneurs, this is the reason that we get bad raps from people that aren't us, that aren't in this business, don't understand and relate to us, is because they see situations like that and then they jump all over it and say, look how greedy that business owner is. I can't sit in this chair, which is free and not generating revenue, even though he's generating revenue by me using washers, dryers, and vending machines. But that chair over there, that's okay to use because I'm going to give him an extra buck or two for using that chair. Folks, that's just not right. That's not how I run my businesses. But I will say that it's a big market differentiator. That mentality for me, for all the laundromat owners out there that are trying to figure out, I hear all the time on the boards and the forums how, you can make a few $1,000s a week or even a month in the laundromat business, but it's never going to make you rich. I don't know what your definition of rich is, but it's made me very, very wealthy. It's made me a multimillionaire at this point, and I'm only 44 years old. I'm only getting started in this business. But the reason that if you're someone that's running a what I call a plain Jane laundromat, a nice laundromat, nothing special, no frills, maybe you don't have seating, maybe you don't have folding tables, during the pandemic, maybe you're making decisions that are only in your best interest. The reality is you're going to be okay until someone moves into your market and decides to look for a win-win relationship versus a win-lose relationship. And when that happens, your business is going to be decimated because you're not in business for the right reason. You're only in it for selfish reasons and only for monetary reasons. So keep that in mind, folks. Once again, Dave Menz, Laundromat Millionaire here in Cincinnati, Ohio on Saturday, October 24th, 2020. For those of you that aren't aware, I do have a consulting website out there, laundromatmillionaire.com. If I can help you in some way, I do offer a free 20-minute coaching call. So jump on my website, sign up for a free coaching call, and we'll see if we can help you a little bit. If you're interested in a more long-term relationship with some paid consulting, whether it's just a few hours here and there, or you want me to mentor and work with you for months and months, I am available to do that on a very limited basis. Just go to my website and we'll see if we can connect. All right, y'all have a great weekend. Take care.